one more big controversial musician out there is Marilyn Manson, everybody. And Marilyn Manson will not face sexual abuse charges despite all of the allegations that have built up. This is a big thing that dropped. Now, Evan Rachel Wood came forward and she's also still supporting all the victims, she's saying, but they've been doing a lot of work on this case and apparently it just went outside the statute of limitations here in Los Angeles. Took too far, but over a dozen women, including Evan Rachel Woods and also Esma Bianco, were part of this whole thing. But the newly elected Los Angeles District Attorney Hochman came in and he was like, we determined that the allegations of domestic abuse and violence fall outside of the statute of limitations, and so all the charges will be dropped without reasonable doubt. So apparently it's dropping everything right now. Authorities spent 4+ years on this, 4+ years investigating Brian Warner, Marilyn Manson, and I know that picture. It looks like Joker a little bit, doesn't he? Hi. But he doesn't always look like kind of Joker a little bit. I would say about him in like the bodysuit thing. I remember that. I remember that came out when I was in high school. The bodysuit thing was wild. Yeah, that's right. That was that album. I remember that was everywhere, and it was the craziest controversial thing for him. But I mean, this has been a big thing going on forever. They actually raided his house back in late 2021, and it was a whole thing. They've been building all this up, and now it's just done. They're saying there's no actual evidence now that's actually an account, and it's done. And if Marilyn Manson did do that, as all these women are saying, he will not face any charges for this. And so that's it. I just think that he has been a big controversial figure for years that I'm surprised, but I'm also not surprised. You know, it's the law's the law sometimes. You know, they were trying, but why would you wait that long where it gets outside the statute of limitations? This feels like maybe this is a whole thing that they didn't want this to blow up. I don't know.
How about we ask a different question and ask, why the hell is there even a statute of limitations on sexual assault?
Exactly.
That's a good point.
Can we just get rid of that? And like, why did it take so long? Because people are traumatized, and like working through that trauma is scary, and you don't know what's going to happen to your career. And like, I feel for these ladies. And my question is, people like that don't really change. So are there more recent victims, and where are they? Like, I don't think people like that change.
What do you think then, Laura? Do you think that maybe, even though this is done, could these victims actually keep looking for new people maybe to go after him? Or do you think that he's smiling, he's pie-eyed someplace, just enjoying it and laughing it up right now?
I hope to God some people come forward, and I hope these women do encourage other women to come forward. I'm encouraging women right now, not just against Marilyn Manson, but against, everyone. If you've been assaulted, get to a therapist and get help and hold these people responsible, because otherwise things like this happen and Marilyn Manson gets to run around and not pay for what he did, which is really sad.
I think I think he's very talented, though. I just think that, again, this is the same thing like the Michael Jackson thing. It's like he's definitely had a massive impact on the business itself, what he's done for it.
I'll say it again, there's a shit ton of talented people in the world. We don't need people who are sexually assaulting people and hurting people. And
exactly.
I feel the same way about the freaking NFL. Like, football players, what the hell is going on in this country? I mean, then again, I guess we also have a president that's an ex-felon. I won't get that political, but
stop with that bullshit about felon.
He was convicted, and that is, you cannot argue with facts. And it's a fact.
A court packed by his political opponent, he was convicted.
He was convicted.
Well, anyways,
he's the president of the United States, so he said he didn't do it. He didn't do it.
He also is accused of sexual assault. His ex-wife says that he raped her. I mean, these are things that you can't. He's also been violent against women. I don't know how
that's Marilyn Monroe. Or Marilyn Manson,
That's okay with that. It's not okay for anybody. And my point is, it's so prolific that these people who hurt people not only have celebrity status, but like maintain it. Like, why are NFL players, after beating their children, children watch football and hold these people as icons, why are they allowed to walk back on a football field? When you run a dog fighting ring, like, why can't we just get another football player? I don't know. It disturbs me that there's convicted people with serious criminal records that have hurt people, have been violent with women, have like raped people, and they're still allowed to, like, because they're talented.
Yeah, I know.
Go to America's Got Talent, have them doing a football season. I don't know, like.
I love that. I love that. That's my quote of the day. Oh my god.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Though, seriously, I mean, there's plenty of people. There's plenty of talented people out there. We don't need to keep people who mistreat others and do terrible things around, just because they have something special.
There's
but Val, people have loved him though, right? Too. Do you think that there's gonna be people that are celebrating this though right now?
Marilyn Manson?
Yeah.
I loved him in middle school, which is probably the average age when somebody would like him. Frontal lobe isn't even close to being developed yet, I was a big Marilyn Manson fan at age 11 to 12. I was like, oh, this is so cool and edgy and wow, how fun. And as I got older, I don't think I really understood what he was about then. I was just like, this is so cool and different. And then as I got older and I started to learn what he was actually about, I could not even stomach listening to anything from him now, even though I enjoyed a lot of those songs when I was younger. If I ever see him, it's on sight. I will curb stomp him. I don't care. He's a terrible person.
Right?
Seriously. I mean, have any of you watched Evan Rachel Wood's documentary, Phoenix Rising? It's on Max.
I will now that you said
I haven't watched it, no.
It details everything about the abuse that she suffered from the time that she was a minor, groomed by him. She met him at a party when she was 16 or 17, and he started hanging out with her. Keep in mind, he was a 37-year-old man. He was married to Dita Von Teese at that time also. So he was sneaking around behind Dita Von Teese's back, grooming a child. And then, it's so bad. She details everything that he did to her. And also she meets with probably about 7 of the other victims. They all get together and they talk about everything that he did in their intimate relationships. And that's why it takes these women so long to come forward, because it's not like it's as simple as a stranger in the night attacked me in an alleyway. This was somebody that they were having an intimate relationship with for a long period of time.
Yeah, that's that's an abusive relationship, and those are the hardest ones to get out of.
Exactly.
I can speak directly to that, unfortunately. I don't know. To me, if I owned Apple Music or something, he would be off everything. I'd be like, forget it. I don't need that. I make plenty of money. We do not support Marilyn Manson, and we're not going to have his music here anymore. If you want to find it, go get your CDs out of your garage. It's not. Those people should their work should be removed. I don't care how nostalgic it is. Get it the hell out of here.
Exactly.
You should be wiped from history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so much of his work is it's rooted in just filth and just nasty. It just songs that mention rape, things like that. It's terrible. Now as an adult, the songs that I would listen to when I was a middle schooler, now I actually know what they mean, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I
what was he saying? Saying the quiet part out loud, Yeah,
it's so bad. I feel terrible for the victims that this case was dropped, because after watching that documentary, I could honestly cry talking about it. The things that he did to Evan, they're just awful. And I love her because she has since been advocating for the statute of limitations to be raised in California, and I really admire her for that.
What?
Well, the problem is
what is that even about? You committed a crime, but too much time has passed, so you don't have to pay for it anymore. That's such a weird concept.
It's been like that for a long time, unfortunately, for a lot of people. And they've changed it in some states, but I still think if you're especially when it comes to child abuse too, I feel like if it's child abuse on top of that, you should not have statute of limitations. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of people R. Kelly being happy. He's oh, that was 20 years ago when I touched that kid and peed on him. It's not a big deal, allegedly. You know what I mean? And it's that is a big deal. That's a big fucking deal.
That's it's a big deal, no matter how long time ago it was, and that kid probably still thinks it's a pretty freaking big deal. I don't think
it's a big deal
as a child.
I know. I know, like Queen saying, or I think it was Queen, someone said, like, isn't he yesterday's news? I'm like, yeah, in a lot of ways, but I think that this was a big case that's been building for a long time. And in lieu of the Diddy stuff going out there, it's another person that seems like there was enough evidence where it would have been like, this happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and for me personally, I was like,
it's yesterday's news, but him committing these crimes is today's news.
Exactly.
And that's, you still need that to be relevant and come to the surface and have these women speak out so that it encourages. I mean, the one positive thing that you can get out of this is that women will realize, dang, if I don't speak out soon enough, like that statute of limitations thing is so real. I hope it encourages people to speak out sooner, because this guy ran rampant doing whatever he wanted to do. And that's why, like, people like that, I always encourage women when they go through something like that, reach out to other people's exes, like throw it out there. If you have connections to knowing these people's friends or whatever, like talk about it. You know?
Talk about it. Put it out there. At least use your voice to talk to somebody about it. Put it out there. Don't hold it back, because, you know, honestly, at the end of the day, like, that person's going to hurt somebody else. That's what's going to happen if you stay quiet. And I get it's hard, it's tough, but that person's going to hurt somebody else.
Right.
GR, were you ever a fan of Marilyn Manson? I can't imagine GR rocking Marilyn Manson at all.
No, any man that does that kind of shit, and I said it earlier, you know, a man that's hitting the women or doing this kind of shit, that dirtbag isn't a man. He's a big, I can't say that word on the show, but, you know, these women,
Agreed.
you know, yes, they can't try him for past crimes now because of the statute of limitations. Okay, but ladies, just in case you're watching the show, you can sue the out of him in public court.
Yeah.
And you can get the $500 million.
From as opposed to Chris Brown getting that shit, right?
Yeah, for real.
Chris Brown, she doesn't deserve any money. He, whatever he is.
Just
you can call him
trash.
she.
I don't know that he deserves a pronoun. Yeah,
you can call him whatever you want to call him, GR. Just call him, like, you know,
I was using the P word, you know, and
he should have to pay that money to every woman and child and whoever else he's ever hit. Like, he should just have to pay that money to people.
Yep.
Does he ask?
Well, that's where it's like, with that, even that documentary, that's based off definitely all these cases that came forward, things he did. I don't know why you sue over something like that. It's public knowledge and stuff like that have actually been proven this is all real. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Again, like Marilyn Manson, it's the same thing. It's like, it's like you abuse your power again. You abuse all these women, and you thought you'd get away with it. And he did kind of, which kind of sucks. But I would tell you this, I worked with Evan Rachel Wood on Westworld, and she was fantastic. She was a great person. There was one day where it was 120 degrees and they want us to keep shooting into meal penalties. And she's watching everybody drop. And she's like, we can't keep shooting. Like, no, we're going to keep going. It's fine. Let's keep going. And then they said, okay, she goes, give me a second. And then, okay, 1 second. And she walked off set. She got in a van and she was, I'm going to lunch. And she called it. And she went to lunch and shut the whole production down because people were getting sick. People were getting hurt. I think that she's a good person. And I think that showed a lot of character for her. And so when I saw her standing up for other people too, I'm like, she cares. She just cares. She knows that she went through the ringer with this guy, and I think she wants nobody else to. And unfortunately, everybody that did aren't getting any kind of justice for it, unfortunately. And maybe they will eventually, because if he keeps being the person that he is, which is apparently, you know, a pig, then, you know, he'll eventually pay for it. And hopefully eventually he slips up and we get justice for these people. Hopefully, you know.
Maybe
then
they
again,
can get him on something else. You know, a lot of times the police do that. Now they know, and they'll just wait, and they'll find something. They usually do.
Yeah, but we live in this world, again, you're innocent until proven guilty, of course, 100%. But when you hear these allegations stack up from all these different women, my heart will go out to them all the time. Like, we got to talk about this. Let's look into it. Let's figure this out. And I think that sucks that it just didn't get its day in court. You know, I think it should have got its day in court. I think it should have. And I think that...
Why don't we make exceptions to that statute when there's 4 freaking women? Like, you know, or however many people. If it's multiple women, can we just...
I urge everybody, please go watch Phoenix Rising. It's Evan Rachel Wood's documentary. It's on Max. Please, everybody watch it, because it's not only just her story. It's also a really honest depiction of what it's like to be a sexual assault survivor. And it breaks down you know, the psychological aspects of that, and also talks about, you know, the legal side of that as well with the statute of limitations. I think it's something everybody should watch, and it will make you never ever want to listen to Marilyn Manson's music ever again. Ever.
Right.
Round applause for that. I never was a big fan anyways. I thought it was okay. Some of it was okay, but my brother Kyle liked it a lot. He was really into it, but I just, you know, there were some songs, but, you know, now I'm like, I don't need it in my life. And I think at the end of the day, like someone like this, of course, they walk away for now. For now. I think that he deserves to go to a court, and actually they should go against him for all these allegations. I think so. There's not people for it. I think they should be a day in court, but unfortunately there will not be. Unfortunately, there won't be for now. But we'll wait and see time.
Together, and I hope they do.
Like, yeah, like GR said too. That's great.
You can get them in a civil suit, so go for it, girls.
Yeah, get them. Get them. Because we're, at the end of the day, we just want everybody to be safe. And I'm sick of this shit hearing about Hollywood. Again, we got that Diddy thing still going pretty rampant right now. He's filing a defamation lawsuit right now against people with allegations against him. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, that's going to blow up even more. We're going to keep you posted. Diddy Watch just coming, everybody.
I'm sick of it happening, but I'm happy we're hearing about it, because it used to just not get talked about. At least we're addressing it now. At least it's being thrown out there.
Yeah.
You know, I hate that it happens, but thank God people are starting to talk about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was a long time where people were just laughed about it behind the scenes. Oh, there was, I can't even tell you how many times. There's definitely other actors that I've heard about that people have not even come up against. You know what I mean? And it's like, you think, well, that person's just going to be able to get away with that? Oh, yeah, it's fine. Even the Kevin Spacey thing, like, I know he got away with, I mean, he allegedly was innocent, but like, I don't buy it. Not based on everything I heard about him. So, and then unfortunately, you know,
that's an
where that
interesting
lies.
one. He has to do all these like really goofy like indie movies now.
Yeah, he's a great actor too. Again, a great talent too.
So talented.
Yeah. Are those the messed up people?
Hollywood.
I don't think so. I don't think so. There's a lot of very talented people that aren't like that. I'm just saying, you got a few of them on the show right now. That's all I'm saying right now. Yeah, a few of them on the show. But Marilyn Manson, at the end of the day, I hope you do serve your time in court. Only time will tell.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.
Control.